Hello and welcome to the Lyon Show. I'm your host, Robert Lyon. Today we have a great one. This is a really powerful episode. I call it Think Big, Start Small, Act Now. Okay, this is just the information that I've kind of been learning as an entrepreneur and throughout my life, and it's brought me lots of success. So this is really important for you to take what I'm about to say seriously. This is a life-changing conversation we're about to have, and I hope that you enjoy. Okay, let's start with thinking big. I talk to people every day about their aspirations, their goals, and man, some of these people have no idea what they're doing with their lives. Okay, so if you have no idea what to do with your life, that's fine, but I encourage you to think big. The main reason that I do what I do is because I want to help more people. I want to help people on scale. I'm making this audio podcast so I don't have to call each one of you and tell you, hey, think bigger, right? I made my business because I didn't want to just help one person. I wanted to help lots of people, right? We have a nationwide business where I can change thousands of people's lives. And it's just really important for you to think big. A lot of people have this very limiting belief, right? They grew up in a small town where everybody talks shit about each other. They knew everybody's business. And then they think that's what the world is. The world is whatever they see in their phone. Whereas once you finally get out into the world, you start to realize there's different cultures, there's different ways of living, different ways of thinking, different ways of being out in the world. Okay, I would say, I've always been someone who's traveled a lot. I'd say lately I've traveled less than I used to. But I just remember, when I was like, from age like 13 till I was about 18, I was this like troublemaker, drug dealer, fucking gangster, kick your ass, take your girlfriend type of person, right? Around 18, I got in trouble, and then I finally joined the Army, right? And I literally went from, living in my city, in my town, to North Carolina or South Carolina. Then I went to Oklahoma. Then I lived in Germany for 2 years. Then I went to Afghanistan for a year, and then I came back full circle back to Colorado. And I had just seen so much of the world. I had traveled. I'd been to war. I'd shot guns. I'd almost died. I'd learned a lot about myself. I'd learned a lot about, being a human being and such. And I came back and I just assumed, everything's going to be totally different in my small town or my town. But I just figured everybody would be doing something different. And they hadn't done anything. They hadn't experienced all the things that I had experienced. And they all still were thinking very small. Okay, so I would first of all like to encourage you to think big, right? The other rule of thinking big, I think Grant Cardone kind of ruined it, but you want to 10x it. It's always easier to 10x your business than it is to 2x your business, or it takes the same amount of energy to double your business as it does to 10x your business. You have to think bigger. You have to put yourself in a mindset of what would happen. Maybe you're still in your first 100 clients. So you have to say, okay, well, what would I have to do to get to my first 1,000 clients, right? And you have to start thinking bigger, and then you'll have bigger problems and better problems. You want bigger problems. You want to think bigger, expand your mind. The biggest thing that I've learned in my entire life is that reading, listening to audiobooks, studying, buying courses, getting a mentor, these are going to open up your mind to new ways of thinking. The more experiences that you can really put yourself through, the larger your experience in life is going to be, the bigger your consciousness is going to be. The more that you can really start to get a grasp on reality, on the world, and stop being ignorant to all the things that you don't know, the sooner you're going to be able to expand your current situation. You're going to be able to think bigger. You're going to be able to get more out of life. You're going to see more. You're going to be more. Okay, so it's really important for you to think big. The last thing I'll say is, I really started Credit Leverage X because I saw that it had massive potential. Okay, and I think probably the next business that I do is going to be a global business, right? Because I'm nationwide. Because we fix people's credit, we help people get access to money, and then we coach them on how to start a cash flowing business and buy real estate. And the way that I want you to start to think bigger is, maybe you gotta basically have a good idea. But you also got to have something that can go the distance, right? If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If you play big games, you play good games, you win good prizes. Think bigger. You got to start to expand your horizon, expand the way that you see the world, expand your opportunities, and you'll have bigger opportunities, and you'll make bigger impact, and you'll get more than you ever could have asked for. So it's think big, then it's start small. All right, this is really big. Starting small is really big. But it comes back down to you have to start somewhere. You have to start with something. Even if it's just a business idea, you can always just pull out a pen and paper and start writing about your business idea. Start drawing out your blueprint. Start making a plan for what you're going to do. Because if you can crystallize something in your mind, you can bring it into reality, okay? But you have to start small, right? A lot of these people have these like egos, right? And they think, oh, I should be making $1 million. Why am I not? Well, it's because you didn't do anything. You didn't start at the small stuff. The little stuff, everything matters. Everything matters. So the way that you do the little stuff is the way that you're going to do the big stuff. Starting small is just doing one thing at a time. And one thing at a time consistently grows into something massive. All right. How do you move a mountain? One rock at a time. Okay. And eventually that mountain will be gone. There's actually this crazy story about a man had a wife and his wife got sick and he had to get his wife to the hospital. And while they were going around this mountain, the wife died. And then the man made it his life mission to dig through the mountain, literally move the mountain so that nobody else would have to suffer what he went through. And he made a tunnel all the way through the mountain, and then that basically create a pathway for other villagers to get to the next city over. So you can move a mountain, one shovel at a time, one little thing at a time. And you have to start small, right? If you're going to build a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar business, it all starts with the client that's in front of you right now. How you treat that client, how you work with that client, how you do business right now is what's going to take you to that next level. And you have to start with, you have to putting your ego aside and doing the little things that need to get done consistently to get to the big prize at the end, right? Everybody wants that Instagram life or wants the success. You have to start small though. So you have to think and have this huge vision for yourself, and then you have to start at the little stuff, right? If you really want to get in shape, it starts with putting less food in your mouth, right? Or putting better food in your mouth. It starts with buying better food and being more mindful of what you're going to do or having a plan, right? Starting small for your health is like having a plan, what you're going to eat that day, what you're going to stop eating, and then sticking to the little stuff, right? Don't have that little random piece of candy that you see. Don't get lazy and go buy fast food. Cook your food that you have a plan for. But it all starts with starting small is just so important. And so again, you have to think really big. You have to have this really big vision, and then you have to start working on the little stuff that needs to get done now in order to have that big vision. This recipe is going to get you where you want to go. And then here's the final piece, okay? It is act now. And this is really important that you listen. You're going to die, okay? This life is not a forever thing. We're not getting any younger, okay? If you want success now, you have to act now. If you have salespeople, if you have like people that owe you money that you need to follow up with them now. You're not getting any older. If you have something you've always wanted to do, you have to start it now. Okay? If you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to start it now. If you want to become a massive success, it all starts right now. The biggest problem is we keep thinking, oh, we've got time. No, urgency. Urgency is the key thing that you have to have with your life. If you truly want to be successful in a very fast amount of time, you have to become incredibly urgent with your time and use your time incredibly effective. But you have to start right now. You can't just keep telling yourself, next month I'll go and get a girlfriend. No, or next month I'll start working on my health. No, you're going to die. You don't have that much time left. You have to do what you want with this life right now while you still have time, while you're still here, and you have to act now. Okay, I've said it multiple times in my podcast, but immediate intelligent action is the most powerful way to create success. And you can start to compact time, right? You can start to see, okay, how many cold calls can I do in 15 minutes, right? And then you just do as many as you possibly can. And you keep trying to put as much as you possibly can into each minute of your life. And you act now, and you start to become incredibly proactive, and you start to become incredibly, you'll start to get amazing results, essentially, right? If you start right now. So think big, start small, act now. Think bigger than you're thinking right now. No matter what position you're at, ask yourself, okay, how can I get this bigger? How can I push myself? How can I make this business bigger? How can I make this hobby bigger? How can I make my learning bigger? How can I learn faster? How can I learn more? How can I make my health bigger? How can I stop just worrying about one little thing about my body? And how can I start to just think bigger, my whole body? Have a holistic view on the world, on how you're going to play your part in the world and what you're going to do. And then you need to start small. Start with the fucking small shit that has to get done every day. Do what is required and do it incredibly well. And put your ego aside, all right? And stop talking so much and start listening more, okay? Starting small also comes down to listening better to more people, okay? And then act now. You're going to die. You don't have that much time, and the time that you do have on this earth, you need to use it wisely to get where you want to go so that you can have an impact, so that you can change the world, so that you can be bigger than you are right now. Because not only you, but your family's counting on you. Your friends are counting on you. Maybe your kids are counting on you. You know, the world might need your gift, and it's never going to get out there unless you act right now. All right, this was my Take Them to Church, Roberto Sunday. Hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend, and I keep moving. I hope you go collect some cash. I'll talk to you in the next one.